Hello and welcome to Mad L Goes Racing, and today we're back in Automobilista 2 and we're having a look at what's changed in the third week of the beta. Now this week there has been not one, not two, not three, but four updates. A large one and then three quick, very rapid. Oops, we've made a bit of a cock up, and here's a bit more of a change, and a bit more of a change, and a bit more of a change. But the headlines are basically a couple of added circuits. This one, which is Guapora, which is a very nice circuit. It's got some nicely banked corners. You can carry more speed around than you probably thought you could. It's got a nice flow to it. It's not hugely fast, but technically nice to drive. The other circuit is the Velocita main layout. We already had the track day layout, so they've added that one. Vehicle wise, Copa Trucks series, which is four trucks to race. They're a scream because you can basically drift them everywhere. Formula Classic Gen 2. Now, there's already Gen 1 and Gen 3. We'll have added Gen 2 as well. And the Gen 2, the third one, is a V6 with turboed and 6-speed H pattern. And it's actually the closest car to what was in IMS for the Classic. And it's a shame that Jimmy Broadbent didn't wait to get that car to do his comparison between IMS and IMS2, because he was actually comparing two completely different cars. And the car he drove from IMS2 is basically something with huge slicks on the back, and all the aero is at the back of the car, and yes, it's got loads of rear grip and it would understeer like a pig, and that's the way they were designed and that's the way they drove. So it was a real shame he did that, but there you go, you live and learn, Jimmy. Hopefully next time ask the devs. The other thing is the GX390 rental and race carts, which are 4-stroke single cylinder, I believe, and the race cart is an absolute scream. It handles beautifully. It's compared with some of the Project Cars carts, it's night and day. It really is. Hopefully they'll sort out finalising the one or two issues with the gearbox on the shifter cart and the super cart. I find the gears are a bit slow on those. Being an ex-motorcycle racer who raced 2-strokes exclusively, I've got a few years of experience of racing engines 2-strokes. Other things that have gone in, multiplayer has been added. Haven't actually done any yet, but I will hopefully get around to it sometime over the weekend and report back at some point. They've added a load more HUD options. It's not so much they've added a lot of options as they've just added some of the other bits and pieces in the HUD, like virtual mirror, positions, timings and other things. They've still got the same basic small display for gears, tyres, etc. down the side there. Although, funnily enough, I was running in VR the other day, just testing it, and one of the HUDs was actually using the Project Cars big display, which was interesting. Don't know if it was meant to or not, but it came up and I thought, okay, but it's not coming up on pancake mode. Lots of other updates, UI changes. They've added the system part of the menu, so you can now turn on the UDP and the shared memory, so all the things that you could use with Project Cars 2 should, with a very minor update hopefully, work with AMS2, because it uses the same shared memory system at the moment. So things like Crew Chief and all the other things, all the sim tools, things like that, which are well worth getting, of course. Audio, plenty of updates. They've altered the reverb, so now there's a bit more reverb off Armcos and through tunnels and things. I don't think it's quite as much as there was at one point during the development of Project Cars 2. I need a drink. I'll have to maybe record something going around Monaco, or not Monaco, and compare it with, I've actually got an unlisted video which I recorded before they took off a lot of the reverb from Project Cars, and compare the two and see if it's close. I think it's fairly close, but it's a little bit less. And it's funny because you could actually shut your eyes and you could actually work out where you were going around a circuit and how close you were to the left or right Armco, purely on where the sound was getting reflected from. So it works really well. The audio is actually quite complex in the Madness engine. Physics wise, lots of tweaks, lots of little changes. AI again, lots of changes to hopefully stop them rear-ending you quite as much, make them a bit more aware of where the edge of the track is, so they don't drive off the track to overtake you, because you're not allowed to do that. What the hell should they? Lots of updates to track and vehicles, like materials, little changes here and there, all going in the right direction. One thing they did change in the force feedback, they have added a pneumatic trail, which should give you more feel for what the tyres are doing. So with all that, what I'm going to do is an 8-lap race. Use proper English, boy. Round the new track, Guapora. You'll see how nice it looks. Now, this is going to be 8 laps. There's 14 AI, I think it was, I set up. I'm at the back of the grid, despite the fact it says Madel in 5th and 10th. That's something that needs sorting out, obviously. I've set it so that it's light rain, then it's light cloud, clear, clear, I think. So 4 weather slots. You may notice we're on soft slicks, and that is because it thinks light rain shouldn't need to worry about wets. If it was raining, if it was just rain as opposed to light rain, I'd have started on wets. And obviously it would have started to dry out, I'd have to change. Hopefully in this, it won't do that. Now it'll be interesting to note, as I'm going along, look for the fact that the circuit isn't the same amount of wetness all the way around it. You'll see that, like in Project Cars, the weather isn't sort of set in stone. It's going to be slightly wetter or drier depending upon where you are on a circuit. So along here at the moment it looks pretty dry, and I've got a terrible start. I might try going around the outside a bit, or I might not. It's not quite the greatest greatest side view out of this car, but will be interesting. Bit of swerving. What'll be interesting to see is how much it changes on the next lap, because basically it doesn't sort of pre-soak the circuit quite so much. Now I've tested this about 4 times, and every time's been slightly different in where it's really wet and where it isn't quite so wet. So what you end up having to look out for is you can hear, I don't know if you can hear that just there. You can hear where it's wetter. You can actually hear the sound of you going through the wet bit. Also, you need to keep an eye out for typical. It's drier than it has been in the last 3 attempts. So, a naughty nudge there. You have to watch out for rooster tails coming off the cars. If you can see spray coming off the tyres, it probably means you're getting close to needing wet tyres. At least it did in Project Cars 2. Whether or not they've changed it enough, because they're still working on getting the balance right of how wet it physically is with how wet it looks like it is. So I'm not sure how close they are. I think it's going to be typical. It's going to be totally bloody dry. Set it up to be. They're a tad slow out the last corner, luckily. Now, it's way drier, way drier. Last time it was soaking wet along the end of the start-finish straight and kept catching me out. So, shame that, because I'd have preferred it a bit. Oh, that's a bit dodgy. You'd have been able to see where the spray was coming off the tyres and everything. Oh, that was a bit of a late turn in there. You have to watch that slight ridge there. Quite easy to throw the car away. Back in getting a bit squirrely as you came out. I've only got the AI on 90, 50 impression. I've got no idea how good, bad or indifferent they are at different AI settings at the moment, because obviously they're very much a work in progress and things change on every time there's another update. They've made some changes to the AI to make improvements. This is very dry compared with how it was last time. Last time it was very wet, so we can get it to hang a bit better around here. That was much better. Getting away from us there. What sort of lap times we're doing? There is no lap time on the screen at the moment, which is a pain in the bum. It's there if you do private practice, but not for the race. And unfortunately, the Motec display, which does show your lap time, doesn't hold it for you to be able to read it at the end of the lap. So. Slight touch. I don't know if I was amazing at there. I thought we got some bit of spray on the windscreens. The car went through what was still a little bit damp. This car is really nice to drive. if this is a portent of what's to come in terms of like GT3 cars, then bring it on, as all I can say. In this car, the Caterham obviously, and like the Super V8, oh, just balls out fun to drive. Whoops, a little bit of an elbow job there. Any chance of an outbrake manoeuvre? Ooh, smoking the tyres a bit there. This corner catches me out every time because it's slightly tightens right at the end. So brake all the way to the apex there. See if we can get a decently fast last lap in. Almost around the 1:06-ish. The soft tyres might be getting a little bit toasty at this point. No chance of catching them on ahead. Just took the curb a little bit, going a bit of extra rotation. Slightly slower last lap, but yeah, unfortunately there wasn't as much wet there as I was hoping there was going to be, but if I try again it'll probably be soaking wet, but there you go. How's it going? Well, I think it's going very nicely. Do I still think they might need a little bit of extra time? I have been really pleasantly surprised at just how much work they're getting done in the time they've been doing things, so it's still a little bit, maybe not, but if they keep going and people keep reporting things in a sensible way, I think we should be alright for end of the month release. Might not be quite there, but I think it'll be good enough that everybody will be able to get a really good feel for just how damn good it is. There will, of course, be people that go, I don't like it, because it has got some, it will, without a doubt, have some Project Cars DNA in it, because it's using Project Cars tyres model. So, in terms of how it feels at the moment, I think it's feeling bloody good. So, that's it for now, and I will try out some multiplayer hopefully sometime later tomorrow, and I'll report on how it's going. There have been one or two people saying it seems fine. The odd UI issue maybe, but again, you know, it's sort of missing names and a few other things, but again, hopefully that's nothing too major, because that should be basically the same code sitting behind it as Project Cars, and it went through the same stage where some of the names looked a bit peculiar and a few other weirdnesses. But that's software development for you. Been there, done that. Got the t-shirt. Not this one though. But for me, for now, I think that's enough. And for now, enjoy your racing, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye. Right, I've already tried this once, but I'll try it again, purely on the basis that the race I just had basically didn't have any water in it, so I'll see if this one's a bit wetter. I've tried this several times, and every time is slightly different, and the amount of water, it's not, oh, it's light rain, therefore it's X amount per minute, whatever it is within a range, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully it's a bit damper than last time. It looks like it might be, so. As you might have noticed, I forgot to mention, we're on slicks, and oh, you can hear some water back there. It's a bit of reflection and shininess to the road. Oh god. Now this being the Madness engine and the Madness weather system, what you'll find is that when it says it's raining, it doesn't mean it's exactly the same all around the circuit. In fact, it'll be all over the place. As you can see, it's a hell of a lot wetter here. And in fact, I'm going to have to ease off a bit. Lots and lots and lots of rooster tails coming off the cars, and that usually means it's getting to the point where you should be thinking about wet tyres. But because we're only doing a couple of laps in the wet, oh bugger. I wasn't expecting anybody to go in the pits. Right, that's definitely a bit wetter than it was the first time. Right, I think this is like maximum wet for this particular condition. Like I said, I might even post both versions of this, because frankly the difference between what I just did 10 minutes ago and this is hugely different. And this is one thing that's always been a bit of a bugbear, is just because it's going to be saying it's wet, it's dry, whatever, it doesn't mean to say it's exactly the same as last time. So there's a good amount of variance in how wet it can be. Now, is this one going to go in the pits as well, just to be awkward? Oh yes, he is. Does that mean everybody else is pitting apart from me? Yep, looks like it. See, despite the fact they've all pitted, it's really starting to get a dry line already. Now, I don't know if they all pitted from slicks to dries, I would assume. So I'm not sure how the AI decides. That might be an interesting question to ask. Because this is way wetter, where it's wet, than the previous attempt. And that's about 1 minute 11, 1 minute 12ish. Interesting to note there's two drying lines there. I don't know if you noticed. running a bit wide. There was the drying line from where they were coming out of the pits, and there was also the drying line from the racing line, so when they converged at the corner. And actually that could be quite a good thing to keep an eye out for if you're going to race, because obviously if you come steaming at the first corner and it's soaking wet offline, then you're going to be in big trouble. Whereas if you've got a choice of two drying lines, you can hopefully use one of them to do some overtaking on, as opposed to one of my practice attempts at this earlier on where they didn't pit. I think they must have started on dries, so none of them pitted, none of the AI pitted, and he came down here and he got offline, and of course offline was soaking wet still, so they're all braking on the dry line, and I'm trying to go for braking overtakes on a rather wet track, which of course doesn't work that well. Of course this does mean that if you don't start on the same tyres as the AI and they pit and you don't, you do end up with a slightly lonely race, because basically all you got to do is survive by not falling off the side of the circuit, and everything should be hunky-dory. What are we doing time-wise? 1:09. As the circuit's drying out nicely, see, they're all on the dry line down there, and we're on the not so dry line. So I wonder if they've all pitted twice. You can't have pitted for wets at the start and then pitted a second time, surely. That would be suicidally stupid in terms of race times. Drifting around a bit. I reckon there must be. That must be the number of times they've pitted underneath. I assume. Ooh. If that's the number of times they've pitted, one of them's pitted 5 times? Really? That can't be right, can it? As you can probably hear, the tyres are really talking to you to say, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and they're just absolutely spot on in terms of they're not too loud, they're not too soft, they've got a good variance of scrub, skid, whatever, and they really do tell you everything you need to know. Subtle enough that it's not intrusive, and it's distinct enough that you can go, yeah, I know precisely what the tyre's telling me, so another really excellent job. Get off the grass. Bench. The track getting a bit close there. So there you go, two exactly the same weather conditions, two completely different races. Wow, that's... can I scroll down that list? No. Come on, let me scroll down the list. Hang it. One of the confusing things, they've got the menu on the right, whereas Project Cars 2 had the menu on the left, and in some of these you get a list and you could scroll up and down using the right thumbstick because it was on the right. Now occasionally you end up scrolling on something using the right stick, but it's actually on the left, so that's a little confusing. Now I don't know. Oh, itchy nose. So we got 3 pit stops for 4 people there. Most of them made 2 pit stops and 2 of them made 1 pit stop. That's just all over the place. So hopefully that's something that at a later date they'll work out how best to deal with that, because frankly if you know what you've set in the way of weather, you could probably go for tyres that the AI are not going to go for. But other times you go in, well, it's going to be wet at the start, so I'll go with, or it's going to be light rain at the start, I'll go for wet. So you find out all the AI are going for dry, so you're totally screwed on that. So I think I'm going to have to sit down and work out how best to deal with that sort of thing, because obviously there's a band of raininess for each, from light rain, rain, storm, etc. So if you start off dry and you go into a wet session, then obviously you can decide, is it wet enough to need wets? Is it too wet? Is it dry? And that's probably easier. Whereas if you're starting off and it's wet or dry, you can't really tell, but it'll get sorted, definitely. So, right, again, 2 races, exactly the same conditions set, but 2 completely different races. So I just love live track in the rain and the way this works, because it is random, it's not absolutely set in stone, and that does make for some good races. Occasionally you get some weird races like this, but hopefully most of the time it'll be, once they've sorted out what's what, good racing. And if obviously this was a multiplayer and it was like this, you'd have some people be going, I'll go on wet, some people will be going, I'll go on drives, and it'll be quite interesting to see how the human mind copes with things like this. So, but for now, that's enough waffle, and till next time, enjoy your racing, and I'll catch you soon. Goodbye.